Welcome back to Mentor Nation, the podcast for entrepreneurs looking for real mentorship, real strategies, and real stories so that you can go out and build your dreams. I'm your host, John Abbas, and it's time for another episode, so buckle your seatbelt and let's go. All right, David, listen, thank you so much and welcome to the Mentor Nation podcast. It is a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Well, nothing better than mentorship to talk about when it comes to success in my life and lessons of my life.
Absolutely. And I agree 100%. And I know we don't have a lot of time. And so I want to really dive right into the core of your message. But as I was researching you, I read a lot of your book last night, Connected to Goodness. And it's kind of crazy. Your story reads more like an Indiana Jones movie than an autobiography. But
very cool. I've heard Forrest Gump, but Indiana Jones update. That's awesome.
Well, the ups and downs. It's like, it's kind of like a thriller. It's really cool. But I just wanted to see if we could start off by having you share just a really quick synopsis of your story with the audience and what you're currently focused on right now.
Yeah. So my journey really is my relationship with money. I grew up in a world of not enough, a world with a single mom, 6 kids. She worked 2 jobs, packed our dinner in a paper bag, and filled up turnstiles at the 7-Elevens and greeting cards. But she taught us, to empower ourselves with education. I always say that she raised us with waking up at 5 a.m. and she was a black belt in the martial art of Jewish guilt, 3rd degree black belt. So that drove us all to success. My siblings all went to the Ivy Leagues, extremely successful, but I just wanted to be rich. I thought money bought love and happiness, and that if I could buy my mom a house and a car, then I would be happy all the time because I was born with the happiness gene. And only time I wasn't happy is I catch my mom frustrated or distressed about finances. So I worked really hard, thought I'd be a professional football player, got ran over by Christian Okoye in college, realized as I lied on my back, doctor, lawyer, failure, wanted to be a doctor, learned the lesson to be more interested than interesting because I thought doctors, football doctors would just be on sidelines and training rooms. My oldest brother told me, no, idiot. Doctors have to be in hospitals, and I hated hospitals. So learned a valuable lesson to be more interested than interesting. Reversed engineered where I went to law school, found out oil and gas litigators made the most money, actually chose to go to Tulane Law School because they had the top maritime law program for oil and gas lawyers. Graduated, but because I was driven by money, I always kept my option open to whoever would pay me the most. Ended up getting a job offer besides being a litigator for oil and gas. I got an offer to sell legal research in 1992, baud modems, 9600 baud modems and XT computers, DOS monochrome screens on the internet. Funny thing is, my mom told me that if I took the internet job, I was a fool, that the internet was a fad and I'd go broke. Great lesson there. Just because you're someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice. A lot of times we seek approval from so many people. And when you seek approval from others, you'll never get it. When you approve yourself, everybody will bring it. And that's what happened in my life. I started voting for what I wanted in my life, electing what I wanted in my life. 9 months out of law school, I was a millionaire, bought my mom that house and the car. Good thing was, very, very happy moment. Bad thing was it was a start of everybody telling me yes. And 2, everything I did in my life from that point on reinforced money bought love and happiness. So sold the company for $3.4 billion in 1995. I went to the Silicon Valley and raised hundreds of millions of dollars. I was one of the youngest CEOs of the world's first smartphone for Samsung, Windows CE device. I was playing with the big boys and the big dollars. I went from a world of not enough into the world of just enough. I was buying things I didn't need to try to make me happy, and I was impressing people I didn't even like to try to make me happy. And that journey kept going. I ended up running the most notable sports agency in the world, Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. Most people know Leigh from the movie Jerry Maquire, and I was surrounding myself with the best people, surrounding myself with celebrities, athletes, entertainers, media, at the greatest events in the world, the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, Masters, Kentucky Derby, Breeders' Cup, with the biggest charities in the world. My motto was make a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. My motto was the more you give, the more you'll get. Everything was a trade. Everything was a negotiation. And then 3 things happened that changed my life. 1, My dad, for my 30th birthday, gave me the first present in 20 years. He had forgotten my birthday when I was 10, told me he didn't believe in birthdays, so it ruined our relationship because I realized he was a liar, cheater, manipulator, overseller, back-end seller. 2006, years later, I went golfing with my best friend, Rob. I was already running the sports agency. I asked Rob, hey, go to the Masters with me. He said, no way. I don't like who you hang out with, and I don't like what you're doing. I said, what are you talking about? I'm not doing what those guys are doing. He said, Dave, you could lie to me, but don't lie to yourself. But the final draw came 2 weeks later when I was partying with Little John at the Grammy Awards. I had lied to my wife, told her I had a meeting, changed clothes in the car, came home intoxicated, wasted actually. 5:30 in the morning, my wife was waiting there. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't hear yes. All I heard was, I'm unhappy. I'm going to leave unless you take stock in who you are and what you want to become. And if you don't, you're not only going to be lonely, but you're going to be dead. I wish I could tell you that moment I realized what she was saying, but instead I went to what I call ego-based consciousness. I got upset with her and went to blame, shame, justification, told her how ungrateful she was and how dare she talk to me that way and who does she think she is, look around her and all the things I had bought. And I went to my room and I woke up in the morning, even in worse mental shape, trying to figure out how I was going to take her happiness, which was, money and love was happiness. So I was going to take it all from her. And then I looked over in the closet, and that's when my life changed. That's where that book you read was written. I looked in the closet, and there was that jacket. That jacket rang out to me, you are a liar. You are a cheater. You are a manipulator, a back-end seller, an overseller. You're everything you hate about your father. You hate yourself. You idiot. And that's where I wrote down the 4 things that my book is based on in order to manifest everything you desire in life and business. Gratitude would give me perspective. I'd now try to seek the light, the love, and the lessons in everything I do. Forgiveness would bring me peace so that I could live in neutrality like a Buddha. Accountability would give me control. So I would be able to practice ending fear by asking myself, what did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And then finally, no more giving to receive, no more trading and negotiating, but simply I was going to move from the world of not enough, where I was a victim and everything happened to me as a young child, to the world of just enough, where everything happened for me, buying things I didn't need to impress people I didn't like. But now I was going to live in this abundant world, a world of more than enough that would come through me with appreciation, adding gratitude and my value to it and giving it away. Everything of world of more than enough of everything for everyone. I now live my life instead of giving to receive. I now was solely focused on receiving so I could give. And that slight nuance, that subtle difference in my life has allowed me to make more money, help more people, and have more fun than ever. I set off on a mission 14 years ago to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, Jonathan. 1 billion people, John, just like you, that can empower another 1,000 people to empower another 1,000. 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000, 1,000,000 times 1,000, 1 billion. I'm here to create a collective consciousness of happiness. I do free trainings every Friday. I give my books away for free. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Everyone should join me on my free trainings. Been doing it for 20 years to help change this world.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible. And I really, really love your message. I have just a couple of questions that from just reading your book that I was curious about. My first one is, you had mentioned something really interesting, that you read Theodore Roosevelt's A Strenuous Life, and that changed you.
It's on my
favorite book my favorite autobiography of all time is The Rise of Theodore Roosevelt. And so I was curious, can you share what about that book or what message really hit you and was worth mentioning?
So for me, it's the pray dry, right? The ability to be what you must be, but also to understand that pain, right? The strenuous life, pain is just an indicator. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial pain is just an indicator that you have a lesson to learn. And life is about lessons, and lessons will keep on coming until you learn them. But pain is that indicator. It's just like a turn signal on your car. Hey, move in a different direction to somewhere better, so make your situation better. And the problem is, people think pain is punishment. Pain is an indicator that you have something better coming up. And that's what the book Strenuous Life means to me.
That's awesome. My second question is, you have a really incredible morning routine that I wanted to have you share. And there's a reason why you do it so early in the morning that revolves around energy. I thought that was just so fascinating. And I just wanted to see if you could speak to that really quickly.
Yeah, real quickly, everyone should have two routines. One is the non-negotiable routine when things are not normal, but my normal routine is wake up at 4, meditate for 20 minutes so that I can plateau and grow. I can start my day at the highest frequency. Everything vibrates. You can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you. Most people live their lives like the myth of Sisyphus. They push a boulder up to the top of the hill and allow it to roll down in the morning. Not me. I plateau and grow. I meditate for 20 minutes and I find my highest frequency. Use that as a baseline for the day so I know if I'm not at that baseline, if I'm accelerating in the wrong trajectory, utilizing ego-based consciousness, the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, any of those that accelerates us to the wrong direction, creates resistance, voids, and shortages in our lives. Not me. I stop, drop, and roll like a ferocious Buddha. I know that my mind, body, and soul are on fire if I'm in ego-based consciousness. So I stop, ask myself why, drop down and breathe, and then I roll in the right trajectory, using meditation as a baseline for my highest frequency to raise my awareness. It all got started because I just wanted to be aware of when to buy or sell. It has moved to a much larger and greater purpose, which is to create a collective consciousness of happiness.
Man, that's incredible. Now, my final question is you're doing a lot of speaking. Are you still doing stages, or is it all online now?
All online. I have Clarity Experiences have provided me. You got to check it out. One of the best virtual stages. It's better than the Mandalay Bay.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I see on your shelf there, for those that are watching the video of this, your new book, Game Time Decision Making. My final question is, in all of the speaking that you're doing now, like, what is the core takeaway from that book that you try to get through to audiences when you're speaking on stages to huge crowds of people?
Yeah, it's simple. It's really weird, but my real takeaway is what. People know their why. They don't know what their want. And let me just talk real through, because you've read most of the book, I assume, there.
Yes, sir.
So here's the difference. People think of their why, but they never get there. But if you think about, number one, what you want, take inventory of your values, think about what you want. You go from 0 to a possibility. The minute you just think about what you want, it's a possibility from nothingness. That's the way the universe works. Nobody can refute that you have a possibility of getting what you want when you know what you want. Now, when you understand inspiration, understand how we appreciate and bring things through us for others, when you know that, here's what's interesting. You now, when you're inspired, can take the possibility, and turn it into a probability, a mathematical advantage, just by clearing the connection to that which you're already connected to, the greatest source of light, love, and lessons, when you feel inspired. Now, from that probability, right? We went from possibility to probability. There's only one thing that stands in your way. You're the only thing that stands in your way. And if you get out of your own way, using discipline, right, enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, strategy by asking for help and being of service to others, and of course, awareness, like we talked about earlier, raising our vibration or frequency, you could take your probability and make it your perspective. And your perspective is your reality. In other words, the biggest takeaway is think about what you want, become inspired, and get out of your own way, and you can take nothingness, make it a possibility, a probability, and your reality.
I love more than anything, honestly, David, is how you've broken your philosophy into such precise systems that they just like roll off your tongue like little sayings, like alliteration. I'm like listening and I'm like, man, I can't take notes and write this fast enough. I'm just going to have to go back and watch this recording.
Yeah, thank God for video recording, because when I started speaking years ago, everybody, even before iPads, they're like, oh, F this. How do you just unloaded like a whole, semester of business school on me. How am I going to remember? Thank goodness for your recording, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, at first I was like, man, how are we going to do this in 20 minutes? My normal interviews are 45 minutes, and like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh yeah, we don't even need 20 minutes, 15, we're good. We'll just watch the recording. My very final question before we wrap up is, and you already mentioned it a little bit, I really, really want to harp on your Free Friday training. Your assistant and intern were talking about that, and it's just incredible. I mean, so much valuable content, and it's free. And so I just wanted to see if you could just one more time share your Free Friday training, the best way to register for it, and how people can connect with you and follow your content moving forward, and where to get your books.
Well, I'm probably an anomaly out there because I truly am on a mission to empower others. So I do these trainings, have for 20 years, to empower people, not just empower them, but teach them how to empower others. And I do everything from ultimate ego training to sales training to 5 to Thrive training to setbacks to setups trainings to how to deal with negativity. Every week, something different. I do a BYOQ, bring your own questions, for an hour. I do a pitch competition that you can sign up for. I give my books for free. I give my exercises for free. I give my guides for free. I have training recorded for free. All you have to do is email me directly, david@dmeltzer.com. Or I have a text community where you can get all this stuff and get updates and be part of a real community. So you text me personally at 949-298-2905. So either david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905. I will teach you. I will empower you. I will network you. I will change the way you look at things so the things you look at change. I will take every possibility, make it a probability, and teach you how to make those probabilities your perspective, your reality, with quantitative value, not subjective value like that purple dinosaur Barney, right? I'm not going to hug you and say, I love you, you love me. Nobody makes any money. No. Come for some quantitative value for free training. I promise you, you will have an extraordinary opportunity and experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I see your little Bitcoin sign there too. I just had a great guest. We had a whole episode on crypto, so it was fascinating. David, listen, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure. I will put all of the links to all of this in the show notes of this episode and send you all the links. But I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be on here and share your wisdom in a power-packed interview. And man, I hope to have you on here when you write your next book, probably in about 6 months.
You got it. I write a book every 6 months. And remember, next time you do a 45-minute interview, if somebody has the lens of productivity, of bringing value, a lens of accessibility, to be accessible to others and to access what they want, and most importantly, a lens of gratitude, finding the light, the love, and the lessons, you can take your 45 minutes. We'll turn it into 16. And I promise you, you will get more out of 16 minutes with you and I than any other guest you've ever had. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Take care.